Real Madrid want Alexis Mac Allister and may even try and make a move for him in January. There are updates regarding Semenyo and Marc Guehi as it pertains to Liverpool Football Club. And according to Indy, Liverpool want not one, but two elite midfielders over the next two transfer windows. People, it's Friday. It's not usually meant to be me, but it's today. It is me. It's Friday. Sit back, relax. It's the morning meetup show. Let's get into it.
Hi, this is Jordan Henderson, and you're watching Team Kop-ish.
Be free back again, ripping LFC till the end, so go on tell a friend. If they rockin' red, they're a 10 champions, we the best, we come again. Kop-ish clean up in every region, elevation in every season. Catch up and all the fast match up and real rap and drift they go and tell them this is that, this is that. This is Kopish, this is Kopish. Reppin' Liverpool till the end, champions, we the best, come again. This is that, this is Kop-ish, this is Kop-ish. The main free back up in your screen, real ones know this the place to be. This is Kop-ish.
Good morning, lovely people. Hope you're well. Please do smash that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, but also make sure you check out our sponsor, okjersey.com. If you want to grab yourself a football jersey, whether it be Liverpool, an international kit, or one of the other rivals, we don't really care about them, make sure you head over to okjersey.com. £15, guys. That's right, 15, not 130, but 15, and with an extra 8% off if you use the promo code Kopish. Right, people, I want to get, before I start, I've got the dictionary open at the moment, and I wanted to bring up the definition of the word hater. A person who greatly dislikes a specific person or thing. And do you know why I've done that? Because I see this. You know how the saying goes, people? It be your own people sometimes. It be your own people sometimes. Hooks is my brother. And I jump in the comment section and I see this. It's the people who are closest to you. Bob Marley says it. Your worst enemy can be your best friend, and your best friend, your worst enemy. Who the cap fit, let them wear it. Hooks has done this to me on Friday in the morning, on Halloween. Despicable behavior. Despicable behavior. But no, all jokes aside, guys, I'll be live on Hooks' channel straight after this video, so make sure you're there. You're going to be redirected over there as well, so make sure you're there, people. Big up to each and every one of you. Look, on a Monday, I usually do a little bit of shirt association, so I'll bring up an old Liverpool shirt, and I'll ask you guys who's the first person you think of when you see said shirt. Obviously, that's a Monday morning thing, so we're not going to do that today. But what I am going to do is I'm going to ask... Oh, well done, buddy. Are you all right?
That show didn't even hold me.
Oh, well done. Okay. All right, guys. Today's the last day of half term. Today's the last day of half term. You see, on Monday morning when I drop the kids to school, I'm going to come home and I'm going to pour the coldest apple juice I've ever poured. And I'm just going to sit in front of the garden and just look at the sky. I'm almost there, people. Shout out to the parents who have enjoyed half term as well. Shout out to you guys, because you guys are real MVPs. Shout out even more so to the parents who have had their kids on half term for 2 weeks, because I'm going to be real with you. I think it's very despicable that schools shut down for 2 weeks for half term, because when I was growing up, it was just 1 week. Just 1 week. But now these kids get 2 weeks. The soft youths. Or what can I say? As I was saying, yes. So today, for the next couple of minutes, what I want to do is I want to ask you guys, with Villa coming up this weekend, what is your favorite What is your favourite goal Liverpool have scored against Aston Villa at Anfield? So not at Villa Park, but at Anfield. What's your favourite goal scored by a Liverpool player against Aston Villa at Anfield? Would love to hear your thoughts on this. My favourite, probably Steven Gerrard. I want to go back, maybe I want to say either 06, 07 or 07, 08. I scored a brace in that game. We beat them 3-0. Collects the ball sort of on the right-hand side of in halfway between the halfway line and their penalty box. And he lets off a 30-yarder top corner. That for me. Wow, Martin. I don't know, but my favorite scoreline is 7-2. Wow. Halloran's really bringing out the ghost of hating today, isn't it? First Hooks, then Martin. Raw. Big up to Tyrell Gunner in the building. Big up yourself, bro. It really be the people who are close to you. Wow, Mohammed, take off that beard mask, bro. Wow, the beard needs to go. Oh my, wow. On a Friday, guys. On a Friday. D&J. My bro D&J. Cal dressing up as a scary bitch. Okay. Adam, beard looks like my armpit. Sweet. Okay. Wow. All I do, guys, is I try and make content about Liverpool and MMA and boxing and try and make a living. And this is what I get. This is what I get. This is what happens. I'm joking, Cal. I love you. Have you heard of that saying? You beat someone up so bad that you help them up. That's what's happening to me. My guy, big up my brother Sean in the building. Nothing wrong with your beard. Teddy Pendergrass says, big up yourself, Sean. Big up brother Hakeem as well. Cal beard slander will not be tolerated. Thank you. There we go. Wow. You wrote me into this one, Maze. Beard is fine, Cal. No aura, but fine. Sweet. Big up to God AEM. Ain't seen you in a while, bro. Hope you're well. Sell Matt, get both Water and Amber Label with Grav and Flow. Right, so let's talk about this. Since you don't want to cuss my beard instead of actually answer the question, which is what is the best Liverpool goal scored by against Aston Villa at Anfield? Since you don't want to cook my beard instead, let's move on to the subjects at hand, shall we? Right, I'm going to start with Mac Allister. Mac Allister has been apparently getting interest from Real Madrid. They want to add to their midfield ranks, and they're looking at the Liverpool Argentinian midfielder. Now, it's no secret Mac Allister hasn't been great so far this season. Most players haven't been great so far this season, so he's not in a category by himself. However, you'd probably arguably say he has been the worst. So shout out to Felipe. I ain't seen you in a minute as well, Felipe. Big up yourself, bro. It's a tricky one with Mac Allister because given how we played last season, he was integral to the team. But because of how it looks like Slot wants us to play this season, he looks like the odd man out. And in terms of talent, he's probably our most talented midfielder overall. Great eye for a pass, great shot, arrives in the box late, he's great timing, he scores some vital goals, he's clutch. Athleticism, obviously, you'd say isn't there, never has been, but he's actually decent at tackling when he's in the position to tackle. He can be very combative, but at the same time, shout out to Rashik, his legs look like they're going a little bit, and it's not really surprising given how much football he's played in the last sort of 5 years. Played a lot of football for Brighton, a lot of football for Argentina, a lot of football for Liverpool. So it's not incredibly surprising if he looks a bit burnt out and if he looks a bit jaded. But I don't know how true these rumours are. I'd be very shocked if we sold Mac Allister in January without any sort of any inclination of us bringing one or two in. I'd be very shocked if this happened in January. I wouldn't be shocked overall if it happened, but I'd be very shocked if it happened in January. So obviously we'll keep tabs on this, but I don't particularly see this happening. Now, whether we would do it or not remains to be seen. I'll probably create a separate video for that, guys, just doing a full breakdown and stuff. But I don't see this one happening, guys. I think Slot absolutely loves Mac Allister as well. Like, loves Mac Allister. I think he's made that pretty evident considering he constantly plays him. But football is a scary place, and football, things can change on a whim. And I'll show you how things can change on a whim. If I'd said to you guys 4 months ago that Mac Allister is going to be our worst midfielder, you guys would laugh at me and be like, what? Mac Allister? Never. Now look, he's been our worst performing midfielder, arguably our worst performing player. Maybe Slot looks at him and thinks, maybe I want someone more athletic in the midfield. Maybe I want someone a bit more robust in the midfield. And if that's the case, then fair enough. But then there's another question. Is Slot going to be here long enough to make these decisions? Because as of right now, his kind of job's on the line, if we're going to be honest. Is he going to be here long enough to make some of these decisions that he might want to make? And if that's the case, what if we bring in another manager who wants a player like Mac Allister, who wants to utilize the skills and the strengths of Mac Allister? So for me personally, I don't see anything in this. I don't see any legs with this. And I definitely don't see this happening in January. I'd be extremely shocked if this happened in January. So do let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. If you think there's a chance that it could happen, and if so, why? But I see this as a non-starter for now, even though this could change. Staying on the subjects of midfielders, though, and Indy also referenced saying that we want 2 elite midfielders. Now, you remember, guys, in the summer, or leading into the summer, I kept on saying I want us to get a DM. I really want us to get a DM. And I kept on being told, Grav's the best DM in Europe and best performing DM. Why do you want a DM? And I kept on saying you get the best out of Grav and Birch if you play him next to a DM or someone who's more combative. And look, Grav last season did have, in fact, Grav in the first half of last season had excellent numbers when it came to being a defensive midfielder. Excellent numbers. But we soon saw, once teams started to figure out how we were playing, once teams started to box him in, once teams started to overload the midfield, he struggled. Not his fault. Again, tactical setups and stuff. That's what happens. But Grav is just not a defensive midfielder. And plus, when Arnie Slot's saying to our quote-unquote defensive midfielder, you have license to get forward as well, alarm bells should be going off. I never once heard Mascherano come out in an interview and say, my manager said he wants me to be a bit more adventurous and go forward a bit more. I never heard that from Mascherano. Rafa Benitez would rather Mascherano be a bit more pragmatic than be more offensive. So I say that to say this. If we are going to get, quote-unquote, 2 elite midfielders, they have to be 2 elite midfielders who are combative, athletic, and more defensively minded. And the reason I say that, let's say, for example, Mac Allister is the player that goes, and I also presume Endo will go at the end of the season as well. Then you'd be left with Sobo, Grav, and Jones for the pivot, as well as Bajcetic. Now, Bajcetic is defensively minded. Bajcetic is defensively switched on. So you'd put him in the category of the defensive minder. Now, the reason I say this is because for me, for a pivot to work, you have to have someone who's a bit more naturally defensive and then another one who's box to box with all-round ability. Sobo ticks that box. Grav ticks that box. Jones ticks that box. All 3 of those midfielders are box-to-box midfielders who can score goals, who can create, but also are good defensively. Not great, but good defensively. So therefore, for me, you need 2 players who are going to be a foil for that. Now, the first person is obviously Wharton. Everyone knows how highly I rate Wharton, but not just that, his passing ability for me is something that is massively missed in the midfield. Someone who can get on the ball under pressure, open up the pitch with his passing, control the tempo of the game, dictate the flow of a game, recycle play quite well. I think Wharton will be very good for that. Plus, he's young enough to be able to adapt and to grow into his stature and to grow into the pressure of being a Liverpool player. Now, the second player I'd have gone for would be Camavinga. But I'm going to sit here and tell you, as much as you guys all know how much I rate Camavinga, I can't push that narrative anymore because the injuries really concern me. He's picked up a lot of injuries. In fact, I'll read out the injuries for you guys because it reads quite dark, to be honest. In fact, let me share the screen with you guys. I think that'll be better. Let me share my screen so you guys can see this. So you see I'm not making anything up or saying anything out of context. So we'll go back to when he moved to Real Madrid. So 23-24. Torn lateral knee ligament, 51 days. Ankle sprain, further 5 days. That's in the 23-24 season. Then last season, knee injury that's kept him out for 45 days. A muscle injury that kept him out for 17. And a hamstring injury, 22 days. And then another hamstring injury that kept him out for 75 days. And so far this season, he's already had an ankle injury, which kept him out for 37 days. Now, not just thinking about the days he's spent out. Look at the games, guys. So 10, 11, so that's 21. Plus another 5 is 26. Another 3, 33. Another 14 is 47. Another 6 is 53. So since the start of 23-24, guys, he's missed 53 games. I think I saw Sammy in the chat. Big up Sammy if you're still there. You're a Real Madrid supporter, Sammy. What is the sort of common consensus for you as a Real Madrid fan, and how do you see Camavinga? Because I don't think anyone can doubt his talent. He's a player that can play centre midfield. He can play as a DM. He can play as a box-to-box, and he can cover at left back as well. He's extremely talented. Extremely talented. But if he's picking up injuries like that in Spain, I've got to be honest with you, picking up injuries like that in Spain and then coming to England, for me, I think we saw how it was with Varane. Varane struggled with injuries when he was here. Varane was a top class centre-back at Real Madrid. So for me personally, I think it's too much of a risk. So I would probably look at someone like a Baleba. And the reason why I say a Baleba, he's a player who, again, not the greatest of passers, but he can pass out with both feet. And he's also very good at getting and relieving pressure through his running, through his driving with the ball, but he's also very switched on defensively. I want to read this one out. Shout out to Ash. Forget Wharton, Baleba, and Ayub Boudi is the one. I don't know if Boudaya, I want to say. Boudet, from the highlights I've seen him and from the one game I saw him play, looks like an absolute baller. But again, I can't sit there and say, yeah, he's the absolute truth. But from what I've seen of him, he looked like an absolute baller. And he looks like whoever gets him is going to be in with a fantastic player. Shout out to John II, says Edison is a shout. I hear the Edison shout as well. I'm not going to lie to you. I hear the Edison shout as well. Edison's good. I'd be fine with that. Now for me, Wharton and Baleba. And again, maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I do want us to sign a few more left-footed players. Especially if we're playing the pivot, because let's say it's Grav and Baleba in the pivot for a game. I think Baleba can move over to the left-hand channel and still be comfortable there. And Grav obviously can move over to the right-hand channel. We've seen him do that. I personally think we need to add some left-footed players to the team and to the squad. Barring our left-backs and Mo, can't think of any left-footed players. And you need balance on a football pitch, and that helps you get balance. Hence why I've been so vocal about wanting to get Schlotterbeck and some of these other players. So, I don't know. Shout out to John II. Morton is a shout too. Oh, wait. No comment, boys. No comment. Shout out to Ash. Cal Curse is dead. Cal Beard Curse is born. Wow. Again, wrote me in and then bam. Okay, cool. Akia says, you're right all along. We need a DM, but he needs to be an excellent passer as well if he's playing alongside Grav. That is a very good point. If he's playing alongside Grav, yes. But look, in my mind,
in my mind, the two midfielders I'd bring in is Wharton and Belabor. That would give us a 6-man pivot of Szoboszlai, Grav, Jones, Wharton, Belabor, and Bišćetic. So for me, you could go Wharton next to Grav. You could go Belabor next to Grav. You could go Wharton next to Jones or Belabor next to Jones. You could also go Wharton next to Sobo, Belabor next to Sobo, and still be fine. And we've obviously seen that at times Grav next to Sobo can work as well. I genuinely believe we would be in a situation where we'd have the perfect blend of midfielders for the pivot. We'd have 5 senior players for the pivot and 1 up-and-coming youngster. And look, Bišćetic, if I'm not mistaken, isn't that much younger than Belabor. So maybe that could spell the end of Bišćetic if Belabor was to come in. But maybe if you went for someone like an Edison, then you never... Oh, look who's there. Oh, Halloween brings out all the ghosts of Callum's past, doesn't it? Big up Goonally, big up to the family. Yeah. Yeah, big up Goonally as always. Yeah. I'm only saying big up to Goonally because if I don't, then he might fire me and then something bad might happen to me. And then just let this be known, guys. If anything bad happens to me, maybe it's Goonally who's threatened me on numerous occasions. Hooks. Whoa. Hooks. We had an agreement, bro. And we had a verbal contract. If I see Goonally on that stream, I'm going to report Goonally. I'm going to report you. I'm going to go to Twitter with this. If I see Goonally on that stream, Hooks, we're done. We're done. Right. Speaking of done, back in the end of August, beginning of September, it looked as though Marc Guehi to Liverpool was done. Since then, Liverpool have lost to Crystal Palace twice, 3 times if you want to count the Community Shield, and Marc Guehi has been pretty comfortable in the last 2 of those victories. However, it's come out that Liverpool are still interested in the centre-back, and the centre-back is still keen on a move to Liverpool. Now, me personally, if we're going to do this move for Marc Guehi, it's got to be January. It has to be January. There's no way you can drag this out to the summer because he will be contacted by numerous and multiple football clubs because he's a very good player. He's been very good this season. Again, we will get blown out of the water for what we offer. I look at Bayern Munich, for example. If they lose Upamecano, they'll probably throw 200k at Marc Guehi. We ain't giving Marc Guehi 200k, in my opinion. Chelsea will probably look at him. Man City will probably look at him. Arsenal might even look at him if they don't keep Hencape. Real Madrid will circle around. I wouldn't even be surprised if Barcelona looked at him. Marc Guehi will be in such high demand that for me, it'd be such a silly move to wait until the summer. However, we may not have a choice and Crystal Palace might just say no. We've just seen it recently. Glasner seriously has an issue with Liverpool because every time we play against him, he goes Super Saiyan and thinks, I'm going to just ruin Callum's day. Same with Ismail Assar. Palace may still be in Europe at that point as well and still might think, we've got a chance here to do something, especially if we keep Marc. I don't see Marc Guehi coming to Liverpool. I think we still want him. I think the player would be more than open to leaving Crystal Palace and moving to Liverpool, but I don't think it happens now because I think you'll have so many options. Hiya, mate.
The baby wants you.
Okay, I'll be out in a bit, okay? Half term's almost done, guys. It's almost done. But yeah, I don't see it happening. Now, Semenyo, on the other hand, I can see happening. Semenyo, I can see happening because let's just be real about it, guys. We need another winger. The Rio and Gamoa, the experiment isn't working because Slot's not playing him, and when Slot is playing him, he's playing him in high press situations. Plus, he's just not developed enough to be a Liverpool start. Gap post too predictable. Salah's just doing a madness at the moment. Like for me, Semenyo is a key signing, and I wouldn't be surprised if we did try for Semenyo in January. I think we know there's a release clause, which, if I'm not mistaken, kicks in January. There's 2 release clauses apparently. At this point, I know it's going to sound like I'm a spoiled brat, but just pay the money and get it done, man. Should have been got a winger in the summer. We didn't. We learned from our mistakes. Go and get that sorted now. So obviously, I'd like to hear from you guys actually, because again, Rodrigo's barely played any minutes so far this season, about 400 minutes roughly. Would you go for Semenyo, Rodrigo, or another winger? Let me know in the comment section. You look, people, I'm gonna wrap up here because I'm gonna head over to Hooks' channel now. You'll be redirected, so just stay here. You'll be redirected to that video. I'm not looking forward to the video of Hooks. Once again, Hooks is my brother. Please make sure you subscribe to Hooks' channel. But I'm not looking forward to the show because I know I'm going to get cooked. And this is what's been happening now at Liverpool. I was the guy going on different panel shows and cooking. Now I'm just turning up with a chef hat. And they're taking my chef hat off me. And I'm the one being cooked. It's dark. But people, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Catch over on Hooks in like a minute or two till I see you again. Kopish collab at 1 p.m. as well with Hassam and Tom. People, enough love. Stay safe, stay blessed. Kopish around, people. Take care. Oh, hold on. Supers. Have we got any supers? No, we're all good. Big up, people. Full salam. Take care.